Hello, my mystical beauties. Welcome back to Oracle Mystica. Today we're doing, I'm really excited for this reading. It's all about getting back into tune with our sense of abundance. You know, we are abundant beings, but we just always get so many blocks and anxieties and, you know, all sorts of things that sort of disrupt that feeling of our own abundance. So we're really going to dig into this today. I have, I think, about 5 questions I want to kind of dig into and get some oracle cards around. And then at the end of each reading, we'll do some tarot cards to kind of show, like, on your current trajectory, what is the road ahead for abundance, the flow of abundance in your life, like in the coming, you know, several months, sort of looking at the near future, that is. So maybe the next 3 months or so of what to expect for the flow of abundance, given current trajectories, which means you could sort of switch some things up with the insights, with the questions we explore and the insights gained. There's, you know, ways to kind of alter perception and thinking and behaviors, and hopefully we'll get really great readings there. But if there are some hiccups in those tarots, then, you know, the things illuminated earlier in the reading are where you could look to sort of help shift some of the navigation towards better flow of abundance. So we have 4 piles today, and each of these decks are going to be used in the readings, but they have kind of different purposes. So that might also sort of influence something about your pile based off the deck you choose, which I don't personally know yet. It will just come to me intuitively as you start your reading. So pile 1 is the Muse Tarot with the Sunstone. This one's from Joshua Tree. And then a clear crystal quartz with a little bit of a cut to it. It's not quite like super refined cut, but it has a nice shaping, little arrow type thing. And then we have green calcite, which has a lot of different green tones in it. It's really kind of pretty. See it a little closer. And then just sort of a rough quartz that's beautiful in its own right. So Muse Tarot and Sunstone is pile 1. This is Inner Compass deck, and the Shaped Crystal Quartz is pile 2. This is the Embodiement deck with Green Calcite pile 3, and the Supra deck with the Unrefined Quartz for pile 4. Okay, so to get into a good spot for choosing your deck, if you haven't already, or your pile, I always like to lead you into a few deep breaths to kind of push into a little bit more of your higher mind and intuition. So take a deep breath and hold it at the top. You could even close your eyes and sort of look to that third eye space between your brows. And then exhale through your nose. Another deep breath in, hold at the top. Again, looking between the brows with your eyes closed, and then a big exhale through your mouth with the that really opens the crown chakra and invites in some divine guidance. So if you need more time to pick your deck, this would be the moment to pause your video. Otherwise, I will see you guys in your piles. Timestamps will be below if you want to skip ahead directly to your reading. Okay, thanks guys. Hello, pile 1. If this is you guys, you picked the Muse Tarot and the Sunstone that I picked up in Joshua Tree recently. And I want to say, just intuitively off the cusp, I do think you guys have sort of a very dynamic, flexible relationship with abundance. I feel like you are the people that can pivot and make energies really work for you when you notice that they are not working currently super well for you. So there's something like really dynamic about you guys and exciting and sort of an optimism, an ability to just be able to mold the flow of gratitude or abundance to work with or for you. It just takes being aware and noticing certain patterns or something's not working, but once that's like you're cognizant of it, you're pretty good, I think, at creating, bending, melding things to kind of, pivot towards you better. Okay, so before we actually get to the tarot portion of the reading, I'm just going to keep these down here for now. We're going to look through the oracle cards at a couple different questions around how abundance is working for you currently. So I have 5 questions, and for each of them, I'm going to pick 3 oracle cards. I guess I'll just pull out all the oracle cards now. Okay, so the first question I want to explore is kind of the positive side, like where there is like a deep connection to abundance and gratitude. Wherever we show the universe that we have gratitude for something, it tends to be signaled to continue an expansion in that area. So I want to look at, to start everything off on a positive note, like where are you doing this well? Like what do you already feel a lot of gratitude towards, hence sort of show and naturally are able to create some expansion with it. So it's like something you can build off of that you're already doing well around creating a flow of abundance in your life. Okay, we've got the Destiny card. Love that. I'm going to get all 3 out and then sort of go over it. Ritual, beautiful. Or sorry, this was Being, not Destiny. Some of these cards don't have the titles on them, but I'm pretty familiar with them. As soon as I said Destiny, I'm like, wait, is that? And then it came to me, it's Being. Okay, and then Vulnerability. Beautiful. Okay, so what I'm seeing here, I'm going to read these embodiment cards. Maybe I'll do that last. So I'll kind of reorder how these are put out. So your just sense of how, like who you are, how your life is unfolding, your ability to be vulnerable to your path, to your authenticity, to allowing life to organically grow and kind of map out an order based on like the center of who you are. Your just willingness to be open about that, be really clear and strong in who you are. That's something I think you're aware that you do and have gratitude that that's an energy that you can hone in and cultivate and channel. And then this embodiment card is maybe showing that you've created like rhythms. And I like that, like this Being card with this sort of like sacred geometry with the shell, sort of like showing that like maybe you have really rhythmic ways of of just being who you are and feeling authentic to who you are. And it's through little things that anchor you each day, that keep you aware of your inner core and where you're going and who you are, that that really allows this growth. So the ritual card says, ritual is creating, I'll hold it up close for you guys too to be able to read on your own if you want. Ritual is creating a sacred experience to honor my journey. In ritual, I usher in a new season while celebrating the path I have forged. Has there been a breakthrough moment in my life that I can honor and create ritual for? Today, I will bless the experiences that have shaped me with a physical practice. Try declaring an intention as you enjoy a flower petal bath. I love just like thinking about the image on this card, the shaping, the geometric, the sacred geometry of growth and patterns, and this saying, I will bless the experiences that have shaped my physical practice. So there's something that I think that you are really aware of in your patterns, and you feel really blessed and very grateful for these things. And so that's just something to build on, to be aware of, that it does bless you with a sense of abundance. You know, in abundance, I probably should have said in the intro, my intention with abundance could be materially, but not necessarily like that. You know, to me, this feels like a certain sense of just like personal growth abundance that you're really good at. And yeah, just keep at this. It can continue to spiral out further and further to expand your being, who you are, your authenticity, and really create some beautiful things for you guys. Okay, so I'm going to tuck these up a little bit. So the next question I want to explore, Jasmine is, I just thought it was pretty, but maybe it's going to be in the way. We'll see. Okay, so the next question to explore around a flow of abundance in your life is, what about abundance in your specific life, in your specific patterns and being, do you not, that what about it mystifies you? What do you not see? It could be something like subconscious that you're not seeing, or just something you've never totally understood that needs a little bit of clarifying and definition. Like, where are you missing the boat, not seeing, missing opportunity, something like that. Whatever kind of feels authentic to you when we look at these cards, but something that's either buried in you or that you've never quite discovered around abundance that you should know, that could really benefit your life. Okay. Magic. Okay. Purity. Abundant. That's really funny that came out. I don't know if I even knew there was a card that said that in this deck. Okay, so like I was saying at the very start of your reading before I was drawing cards, of this like that you know how to bend and meld and manipulate things to work for you, to bring abundance into your life. I think you're doing this on a very subconscious level. So bringing that more up to a place of awareness and consciousness of like, what is it that's not flowing, that's not growing, that's not blossoming in my life? And instead of just like being intuitive and instinctive about something's not working in my life, like really work on like writing down, like writing is a great exercise to bring to know who you are inside and what's going on inside of you. So when you feel yourself starting to try and manipulate life, or like something's blocked, I would urge you to do some writing practices specifically around like what's not flowing in my life, so that you can become a little bit more clear about the ways that you're about to start kind of bending and manipulating life a little to work for you. And even though you're already good at doing that, by bringing it into a more conscious place, it's going to be really powerful, and you're really going to see a lot of magic come through with that more conscious awareness of what you're bending and pivoting and, you know, just remolding to help life work for you. And I think because this has been working on a subconscious level, that can often create a little bit of debris around. But like when you're more aware and conscious of like why you're bending and twisting and molding and manipulating life, you can do it with a little bit more of a clarity and a way that doesn't really unconsciously get in the way of other aspects of life, or even interfere with other people's lives. Like you can do this like really powerfully and with just in a way that doesn't interfere with other things. Keeps it like a really clean, open channel of using your dynamic ability to pivot, to bend, to move energy more in your favor. So just bringing a much deeper awareness. And this is just saying, I think, on all levels of abundance, whatever you're doing, this is just saying like you can do this with abundance, whatever that abundance is around, whether it's self-growth, abundance in self-growth, abundance in finances, abundance in love, whatever you're looking for. So this card says, I am connected to the endless abundance that life offers. I trust the universe is plentiful and desires to flow in and through my life. I understand that scarcity is merely an illusion, and that my sense of lack is an invitation to deepen my appreciation. I acknowledge the beauty currently surrounding me and allow abundance to be cultivated from the inside out. So I feel like this is saying like this ability you have to kind of manipulate, and I'm not saying that in a negative connotation, like, you know, a lot of times we do have to manipulate energies in order for them to work for us. I think when you're manipulating energies, it is very specifically connected to abundance. So like when you're writing, when you can feel yourself trying to like wrangle life a little, like in that writing process, about what it is you're doing and why, like get really clear about like what form of abundance am I trying to tap into. So not just trying to figure out like what it is you're trying to manipulate and where you're trying to bring more energy or get energy flowing into you, but like specifically write down like I am trying to get the abundance of blank flowing in my life, and kind of use that as the starting place and then go on. It's really powerful. You have a powerful ability. You just need to make it more conscious and clear. Okay, so a next question we're going to look at is, well, we have two questions that are going to concern or relate to our sense of boundaries around abundance, or in some ways it could be sort of a give and take, receive, offer type energy, giving, receiving energy, but I'm framing it in boundaries. I think it maybe makes a little bit more practical sense this way. So we're first going to look at like what needs better boundaries around your life, or in your life, around how abundance flows. So this is sort of like, where is your abundance kind of hemorrhaging or leaking because you have really, maybe not as good of boundaries as you should have around a giving energy. Okay. Spirit. Step by step. Alignment. Okay. So in this, I think, let's see, I actually want to read the embodiment one first, just to have all the information I need up front. Okay, so I am an adaptable creature. You are an adaptable creature, able to shift and make adjustments as I continue to trust myself. I learn what allows me to thrive. I am in alignment with my true self. I do not compromise what is healthy for me. I take the time to feel into what gives me energy and what supports me on my path. Okay, so this is very, to me, tied to this thing that you're not seeing. And it's tying into this whole thread about like really being able to be adaptable and sort of like a somewhat detached demeanor in order to, or someone, like having like really open, curious perspectives and willing to sort of change your lens in order to get things to work for you. Like, not only do you do this a little bit on the subconscious level, but I think because it's being done on the subconscious level, it's like you're spinning wheels a little bit with this, and your energy depletes because it's like you, to me, it's like you're too adaptable, and you're really strong in knowing your core and your center. But I think sometimes in order to bend energy to work for you on that subconscious level, you're depleting some life force because it's like you're bending too, like you're too flexible. And so it's just like actually getting a tiny bit more rigid in a way. I don't want to say rigid, methodical about how you're, like, I feel like you're so flexible that you're just like, oh, I'll try this way, and like, you don't give things, I feel like maybe you're not giving things enough time as you bend and twist and try to move energies different ways. So like, bringing it up to your conscious, what you're trying to create more flow around in your abundance, but B, giving it more time. Giving all of these tweaks, all of these adjustments, it's sort of like you move on a little bit too fast, but your alignments, and this just constant moving on, this constant shifting, is dissipating some energy that you have. So, you're good at knowing your authenticity, you're good at ritual, so you need to apply this to when you're tweaking things. You need to give a little bit more time, a little bit more ritual, a little bit more systematic observation. And, you can see your alignments. You can see, you have a strong spirit, your alignments. You just need to trust in like giving things time and doing things a little bit more methodically and observing a little bit more. So a little bit more better, or more, oh my gosh, I can't, where are my words? some better boundaries around when you're manipulating. Try to stay a little longer and create some systems around each manipulation before you manipulate or adapt or change again. Things do take time, so just allow patience. I think is the thing. Okay, so the next one is where are your boundaries too tight? Where are you creating sort of blocks and clogs around the flow of abundance in your life because you're a little bit constricted around a certain flow of energy or gratitude. Okay, so manifestation. Trust. Yep. Receive. Yeah, I mean, it's almost the same message as what's leaking is where the clog and the leak around the flow of abundance and gratitude in your life kind of mirror each other. It's this like believing, trusting the steps you take, trusting that what you want to manifest will blossom into your life, but with right timing. And it's like just trusting that you have to give things time. Like you can't plant a seed and expect it to bloom overnight into a fruiting flower. Like you have to water it, you have to kind of get systematic and step by step, see like, is it getting the right lighting? Is it getting enough water? And just like all that, like it's just like really investing a little bit more of your time and energy and using the flexibility you have to do those like smaller tweaks rather than just feeling really constricted that like nothing ever manifests. And I think that's where there's this block is you're not trusting things and giving them the proper time and breath and patience and openness to come into the place where you're giving so much attention to your manifestations, but you're just like moving on too quick before you actually get to the point where you receive, where the bounty, the fruit comes in. So this receive card says, hold it up for you guys. What has been hindering me from receiving the life worthy of living, the life I am worthy of living? Am I blocking myself from receiving what love is available for me? How can I tend to my inner world so that when blessings come, they can plant deeply? I make room to receive from others as I learn to receive from myself. Yeah, and I think that's that last line, learning to receive from yourself, that is coming through really strong to me. Like, what do you do for yourself in terms of like self-care or just giving to you? Like, I feel like you're a very fast-paced person. I do feel like you give a lot. You do really understand alignment and energy and authenticity and but it's just like sinking into life, trusting, and I think it starts with trusting yourself to be abundant with yourself, to be, receive from yourself. Like, give your own energy your own time, if that makes sense. I think it will make sense to you guys what I'm trying to say here. I'm not articulating it very well, I feel like, but I think it needs to start at such a base level of like, how do you give to yourself? Especially, this one brought up love, and that flower to me feels very love centric around abundance. Like, what love do you give to yourself? What kind of love language do you have? Develop a love language to yourself. I feel like you guys probably, with your adaptability, are probably good linguists. Create a love language for yourself. Create rituals around saying loving things to yourself, doing loving things for yourself. Receive from you. And from there, and feel gratitude from that. And from there, this kind of constriction around feeling difficult, or like you never receive things or something. Like, start at that base level of you giving to you, and let that grow concentrically, like this shell, out and out, expanding further and further into your world and the things you touch, and receiving more and more from these bigger and bigger expanded areas. Okay, the last question before we look at some tarot. This is a perfect segue, actually. I forgot this was the last question. What kind of self-care will aid in feelings of abundance? I mean, we already have like a love language and love actions towards yourself, but let's, dive deeper and see what kind of self-care will help you cultivate feelings of abundance, individuation. Okay. Cutting the cord with something. Are you very dependent, maybe somewhere? Authenticity. You are an authentic soul. There's something you need to really tend to about that more. Like, strength. Let's read strength before I see how these all work together. I practice balance between my feminine and masculine energy. I understand that strength will look different in various seasons of my life. When I am rooted in vision and I know my own capabilities, I can confidently maneuver through my life. As I lean into trusting myself, trust again, my capacity to withstand the pressures of life expand. You confidently maneuver. There's again this trust, maneuvering, withstanding the pressures of your capacity to withstand the pressures of life expands. And maybe that's what it is like once there's sort of a pressure on something, that's when like that trust and the step by step is like training yourself to, everything comes into bumps and blocks, and it's like that's just natural. And I feel like because you're so adaptable, it's like anytime maybe that you're hitting some kind of roadblock, instead of sitting with it and being like, oh, what does this mean? What kind of feedback am I supposed to take here? It's like you completely pivot instead of like working with that, which I think sometimes could work, but I think there's been some patterning around just like moving on too quickly. And it makes, even though like everything you do is coming from a very authentic place, I think that hyper capability of adapting and pivoting and manipulating makes it hard for people to see to the core of your authenticity. Even though you are authentic, it can come off, I think, to others as not understanding your authenticity, not seeing your strength, not seeing your claiming your birthright, because you're always changing. And so I think this, like so many of these things are just saying the same thing, is like trust your vision, have patience with blocks, use your manipulation to work with the block rather than fully pivoting 180 or 90 degrees. Like, explore those blocks and use your adaptability to understand what those mean, and to start building up a tolerance for a little bit more pressure and a little bit more trust and investment in a current path. Because you have magic, you have authenticity, you know how to create ritual. You just need to sort of it's a gift and a curse that you are so adaptable, because it makes you able to move on so quickly, and in so many scenarios that can really get energy working for you, but it just is a little bit unstable, like a little bit, the investment in longer term things just needs a little bit of strengthening, a little bit of trust and timing, a little bit more patience, and a little bit more methodical step-by-step processing. Okay, let's look at some tarot. So given the path you are currently on, your current trajectory, I'm going to say in the next 3 months, what is this going to do around the flow of abundance currently circling you and coming in immediately? Okay. Okay. You currently are holding a lot of pressure on a big philosophy, a big vision. And I think these cards are saying if you can withstand, like we talked about, like really building up a tolerance for some pressure and sticking with it, and systemizing what already is the thing that you've already started, whatever big passion that feels like it's opening maybe new doors, or creating something grand around you. All of the cards going forward off of this are very favorable. And so I think this is a communication to saying, like, stick with it. Everything we've talked about, implement, get really clear about any blocks you come up to and what specifically you're needing to create gratitude and abundance around, and how can you do that a little bit more micro instead of huge pivots. Like, how can you cultivate passion, or not passion, cultivate patience, cultivate using your adaptable energy to face the pressure instead of pivoting away from the pressure, because there's such a deep love, I think, for the path that you are currently facing, and there's community around you with it that seems very blessed. You'll know what it is. Whoever you feel like is your tribe right now, very aligned with you, I think that they really are. Just confirmation for that. You probably already know it, but it's just a confirmation. There are you're really going to need to toughen up and that stick-to-itiveness, because there are big things coming to stand upon your shoulders. So you really need to toughen up and stick to where there are pressures. Just lean into them. It's bringing a new cycle is coming in. It's going to help you kind of shift your wheel, shift some sort of phase in your life. And you're really going to, if you stick on this course, really feel just like a love of your personal abundance, like we talked about, like starting with receiving from yourself, and that concentric circle of just starting to receive further and further out from greater and greater circles. To me, this woman with that rose blossoming out of her core is confirming this. If you stay on the path you're on, withstand some pressures, stand in your authority, stand in, against any bumps in the road and overcome them instead of pivoting, you're really, the self-love that you feel for yourself and the willingness to receive from yourself is going to just multiply, and you're going to really feel both internally and the abundance flowing towards you, your value and the beauty of that. So beautiful, you guys. This is where I'm going to leave you. I hope this was helpful. I always appreciate a thumbs up or a subscription or a comment if something particularly stood out for you. I love hearing that feedback. But otherwise, great reading. You guys are super magical. So just, start using that magic to kind of stay the course a little longer. All right, see you guys. Hello, pile 2. If this is you guys, you picked the Inner Compass deck with the kind of sculpted little arrow type clear crystal quartz. So for you guys, just a message coming through before we start any cards around your connection to abundance. I'm definitely feeling like you have a clear sense of direction. You pick up on those directionals very easily, and you know how to aim and pick your target and kind of stay the course on things, which is like a slightly opposite energy as the first pile. So we'll see. This is interesting. We'll see if there's some kind of polar messages that come out for you versus pile 1. Okay, so to start off this reading, just kind of clarifying, since I forgot to in the intro, that when I say abundance in this reading, that's abundance in many forms. It doesn't have to be financial abundance. It could be abundance of love, abundance of self-growth, like whatever, just like the abundance of anything, life is abundant. And so like your connection to that attitude and, gratitude being very aligned to abundance, like where we feel grateful is where we're signaling to the universe we want to grow, and that is usually given opportunity when we show our gratitude. So, okay, to start the reading, we are going to do some oracle cards around 5 questions relating to the flow of abundance in your life, and then we'll do some tarot at the very end. Okay, so the first question to explore is trying to start off on a really high note of like, where are you already like really tapped into a certain gratitude in your life that has created abundance? And so like how to, be aware of that and build upon it and like continue to cultivate abundance and gratitude in this area. So like, where are you already really creating a flow and beautiful opening towards abundance in your life? The unconscious, interesting. Oh, this is really funny because this is very opposite of pile 1. Okay. You guys should be friends to balance each other out, I think. Okay. The compass, like I said, totally, you can't make it up. I was channeling that message really coming through based off of these cards. It's the inner compass. So I was like, you are a compass. And it's just confirming you are good at being a compass. You know how to set your direction and stay the course. Radiate. Beautiful. Okay. So I think that you are really, really good at picking up on and becoming aware of what's in your subconscious, because you understand there's certain sort of like sensations, awarenesses, whatever, that come through when we feel certain directionals. And a lot of people just take these more impulsively. And I think that you're able to recognize those moments and be like, this is important. What is this about? Where is it coming from? And like really mining your unconscious to understand why you're feeling pulled to go in a certain direction, or to change a direction, or to set a mark or a focus or a goal on something specific. So you're really, really good at creating an awareness in yourself of like why you have certain marks and targets. And it just allows you to be such a clear directional authority in life. You have like very good judgment on what goals to set, what paths to take, where, you know, like you're like a pathfinder or something. And this radiate card, I'll hold it up so you guys can read it too. I radiate beautiful glowing energy and light. In showing up with my full vibrancy, I give permission to others to fully express their light. My light opens up eyes and illuminates potential. I choose to show up fully and let my uniqueness radiate freely. And I think it's because, you know, like, because you know how to identify these sort of calls to action or directional markers, and you take the time to understand what it's about, there's just like a confidence and a sureness that radiates off of you. So it's real leader energy to me, of people wanting to follow you because you radiate clarity, you radiate confidence in where you're going. And this really is a beautiful thing that has created and can continue to create some abundance in your life, some growth in your life. Yeah, really cool. And so it's just like continuing to be aware of this energy, which, you know, this draws about like what you are sort of more aware of and do good, so, or do well at. So just bringing even more awareness to like, this is a really profound thing that generates a lot of flow and abundance and, yeah, beautiful stuff in my life. So gorgeous, you guys. I'm loving that clear crystal quartz that almost sounds like an arrowhead. I'm really feeling that energy. Like, this feels like such a clear message to me. Yeah, lovely. Okay, so the next thing I want to discover or investigate with you guys, pile 2, is like, what about abundance are you not getting about like a flow of abundance in your life, or a potential flow of abundance in your life? Are you kind of like either missing the mark on, unaware of, have never really understood? So it could be something in your subconscious where there's a block, or it could be more something you never understood about abundance that would be for who you are specifically, that would be helpful to bring more awareness to and more effort to understand. Feeling, yeah, okay, got it. I think you're quite an intellectual person, maybe. Okay. Harvest. Okay. Interesting. Love. That love and that feeling. This to me has a lot to do with, emotional abundance in your life, whether that's love relationships, friend relationships, family, like it's relationships to me. That's what I'm feeling, is like you're missing out on a deep harvest that is open to you. I think that you have a lot of loving, amazing people around you, but you're maybe not seeing the bounty this is in your life and giving it gratitude. So it's something that can dissipate in and out of your life, but that you can create a bigger energy, a more consistent growth energy here, by feeling a little bit more gratitude for the people in your life and really tapping into your feelings, like your heart, your emotions. So your heart and your womb space, the waters, is trying to get a little bit more into your feelings to understand how grateful you should be for the people that are in your life. Let's read this love message. I am worthy of love. Today I take time to enjoy the love I am. I fill my cup with kind words, gentle presence, and gratitude for my journey. I love all of me. As love flows in and through my being, I generously share her medicine with the world. So, a similar thing that I brought up in pile 1 where there was something that wasn't being understood. It's like you need to start from self and let this grow out. So you need to learn how to love yourself, to identify how you feel about yourself, identify feelings you feel about you or you just feel in your day that don't necessarily have to be relational. And I think this will just bring just a more actual playful, I'm just watching out my window and there's these 2 beautiful little like yellowy birds all of a sudden just like playing with each other and loving, and it just made me think like this is going to bring more playfulness. I think you have a very serious kind of your ability to be very clear and work with the conscious and the unconscious and find the missions and the marks and the journeys and the paths in life. It's really centered you in mind, but just like feeling your own feelings, feeling love for yourself, starting there. With this harvest card, I just want to say that I think that there's abundance around you. Like this is something you're missing the mark on. You have an abundance around you, but you're wasting it. And so I think it's like tapping into your feelings, starting with you and loving you, and then seeing how that can expand to loving others, in turn seeing how you're so loved. Like I think you're not seeing this correctly, and you need to start with you energy. How are you loving you? Okay, so the next 2 questions have a lot to do with sort of our giving and receiving, but the way I'm framing it is where are your boundaries like too lacking or too loose or too broad, where abundance is kind of leaking out of your life because you're too open and too giving in this. You're just kind of like wasting it, squandering it, because you're not just like too open around it or something. Seeker. Monkey. Okay. Listen. I want to read listen before I dive into what I'm feeling here. Okay, so it says, in a world full of noises, what am I giving my ear to? What is something that I've chosen to listen to at the expense of my peace? How can I practice tuning my ear to what brings me life? I am committed to creating the space in my life to listen to what my body and heart need. Okay. Yeah, where I almost want to say this is just a confirmation in a way and a reflection of this thing that you're missing the mark on. I do think you have a very playful, adventurous energy, which can get your, like, I think it gets your mind a little bit hyper. um, and thinking about the big possibilities and like, but getting in your, stuck in your head with a hyperness. And I think that this is saying that in the natural playfulness that you do possess, listening, like trying to chime out voices that don't belong there, trying to tap into the voice of your heart, the voice of your feelings, of your body. Yeah, it's like you're needing to listen to your body and to your heart and to your emotions a little bit more. Because they're just, they're such a beautiful resource, and they could bring you so much joy to a playful energy that I think you have, but you don't always tap well, or you don't direct it well. But I think that your seeking spirit, the purpose of, even though you have such a confidence and a intellectual clarity of directions in life, if you can infuse those also with deeper meaning attached to heart, attached to body, attached to emotion, it will just amplify and really support this playfulness that is kind of being, that playfulness is kind of being wasted a bit. Or when you do get playful, it's until you tap into heart and emotion, it's not really generating things for you the way it could. So to me, this is just sort of like missing a mark on the deeper things, the relationships, your own self-love, your own emotions, your body information, like the aches and pains and any illnesses you have. Like, what is your body telling you? And it's like listening to these things a little bit more will just like bring a lot more life to you, a lot more eagerness for your adventures and playfulness on your journeys. So create a new container to explore your emotions and body information and your heart, to start to feel safe with it. And then you can, just like, create a nice, somewhere where you feel there are safe boundaries to explore heart and emotions and relationships until you start feeling more and more comfortable, and then you can expand those boundaries. Okay, so where do you, the next question, have boundaries that are too tight? Like a constriction happening that's affecting a flow of abundance in your life. Fire. I'm going to take the top, the observer. Dream. Yeah, I mean, these, it's like opposite side of the same coin. It's saying the same thing again. Is like, you have a lot of passion in you, and a lot of dreams in you, but these things, these deeper, the passion and the dreaminess, kind of this imaginal, more emotional quality, is like you're a little bit too logical, but you have such depth with these things and you're not letting them out. You're being like a little bit too detached and observant, and we're sort of like, that's an interesting sensation and not feeling it. not feeling the fire, not feeling the waters flowing through you. You're just kind of like a detached observer of them. And I think that's the same, like you need to drop in a little bit into the messiness. I think you're such an above the fray person, getting the views and the sights and the big picture. And I think this is just saying like such a great flow of abundance could come to you if you allow yourself to open up and drop into a little bit of the messiness of life, where passion and imagination and irrationality and impulse kind of to you may seem like it just sort of creates problems, but that's for most people. I think for you it wouldn't, because like it would just open up because you're already so intellectual and so aware of your unconscious and so observant, you're gonna catch anything before it like really starts spiraling out of control. So like allow yourself a little bit more leeway in just being dreamy and in being passionate and in being impulsive. Okay, let's read the dream card. It says, dreams are the subconscious parts of me that are desiring to be seen. Dreams are an ally that can offer me guidance and help me see where there may be resistance. What dreams have I had, and what emotions did they stir? Today I will dedicate time to give voice and to process recent dreams I've had. I think there may be even like some judgments about people that are dreamy and passionate and impulsive and like I don't know if there was a figure in your life like this that was important that caused just a lot of chaos and hurt, or something where it's like you have such a trigger around kind of tapping that territory. But it's, to me, this is saying you need to let, like, you've gone too far with detaching yourself from that kind of thing. You're never going to be whoever this, maybe not everyone has a person that this is sort of more of a trigger response to, but whether there is a person or it's just something innately in you for some reason, you're not going to become this type of person or this type of energy that you may hold judgments about and triggers around. You're never going to be that. But you're suffocating something about yourself by not allowing a little bit of drama in. Sometimes we need that drama to clear out some stuck, blocked things in us, you know. Okay, so the last thing we're going to look at is what kind of self-care, well, in terms of these questions, and then we'll get to tarot, what kind of self-care will aid in feelings of abundance? So how could, like, in what way can you care for yourself, like fill your cup up, do a little self-care? What kind of self-care is going to help you feel a greater sense of abundance, feel that energy within you that wants to grow, and you know, how do you nurture that through self-care? It's a cool card. Timing. Release. Beautiful. Okay, I want to read release first. I have some ideas, but I want to see what this might add. I choose to release the things that are no longer of service to me. As I release stagnant energy, I create room for life force to flow in and through me. My inner landscape was never meant to be cluttered, but to be an open space where love could fully bloom. I take time to create ceremony and honor what I'm now being called to let go of. So this ex machina, I hope I'm saying that right, card is sort of like these big, powerful breakthrough moments that sometimes happen. It's like the lightning, the earthquake, the appearance of sudden help out of nowhere. Like just thinking of like Lord of the Rings, where Gandalf the White, like charges in with this whole army when they're like at this, his sort of people are at the, pretty much like being overtaken by the other army, the evil army, whatever. It's those moments where that aide comes in to just switch things in your favor. It's this big lightning aha moment, of suddenly knowing, being at a crossroads or a blockade or something, and suddenly having a solution come to you that's magically out of nowhere, that can get you out of a certain circumstance. And I think, to me, because you're such this intellectual force, it's like maybe, I think it's really tapping into this, like, where you need to loosen your boundaries a little. It feels very similar message, just adding on to it, is that like, if you can let go and let God, and like not have to be the one who's in control of everything, being the sage, being the pathfinder, like let go, like if you can let go of control and self-care, I think you hold a lot on your shoulders. That's what it is. And you need to self-care by handing over control and power to some higher source that has a wisdom to offer you and solutions to offer you that are more profound and bigger than you as a human could ever have. And I think that creating very clear spaces, letting go of things. I think this is what it's about, like your self-care that will help generate more abundance is like letting go of things, letting go of objects, letting go of ideas, letting go of control, whatever it is. Just a little bit of a letting go and trusting something bigger, and you will have, timing will work for you. You'll have these magnificent interventions of just opportunity and magic show up. And I think being sort of this compass, this directional, this having this energy of really understanding directionals, it's timing. And you understand timing. And so when you get the directionals, seek the directionals, I'm going to say, of like the right time to let go, the right time to give up. And you need to seek those every day. You need to practice seeking the right timing every day to let go and let God. Let go of some clutter, let go of your control, let go of whatever it is that's creating blocks from this huge solutions and breakthroughs to come through in your life. Start getting very good about taking care of yourself with noticing your directional timing every day to let go. Okay, let's look at some tarot real quick. So this is just a quick reading. I really want it to be immediate future type thing, like now through the next 3 months. If you're on the trajectory, if you stay on the trajectory you are currently on, this is sort of a look into like how abundance will be flowing in your life. Okay. Oh my goodness. Temperance, Hanged Man, Two of Inspiration, Death, Three of emotion. Okay. So, sorry, I'm just going to move these a little. Interesting. Okay, you're coming into a big transition. Right now, this first card, to me, the first card that comes out always is quite, the real key to look at. Right now, you're just needing to find some moderation in your life to bring things a little bit more into a tempered balance. So just not pushing so hard in any specific compass or direction or big goal, but not totally slacking off either. It's just like finding a really path of least resistance right now. Like, how can you continue to do what's on your plate, but not add any extra, but not necessarily like go off on vacation or escape from whatever. So like keeping status quo so that you can check out, like not escaping the things that like your duties, the things you do need to attend to, but like being able to go on some kind of status quo path of least resistance right now will give you a little bit more energy to kind of go into a bit of dreamland, go into some of the releases we've talked about. I think you're preparing. I think some of these came up because you're preparing. It's like you maybe already have this insight that you need to do this, and the timing is like right around the corner where you're going to get a little bit. I feel like the universe is actually, with this temperance, going to give you a little bit of a downtime in order to just sort of dream, see things differently, explore different perspectives, let go of certain old ways of doing and being, because you're shedding some old skins. And before you fully shed an old skin, you're already finding the new a new pathway is coming for you, a new threshold, like a whole new threshold is coming, and it's going to, you're getting that by kind of going into this place where you can dream and escape and see things differently and change your perceptions. It's showing you a new pathway, and that's going to inspire you to shed the way abundance is currently working for you. And like when you come out the other end of that shedding by the end of 3 months, if not earlier, you're really going to be sort of like very fulfilled in a way of like connected to your tribe, doing something that feels very soulful and meaningful and deep and aligned to you, and really activating something new in your life that fulfills you on that emotional level. I love seeing this because that was such a thing that came through, of like getting in touch with your emotions and your heart. And you're going, like, I think it all came up because you're about to go into this huge transformation about just this, of like shedding the old way of being the pathfinder and allowing a little bit more emotion to take you on a deeper path, to take you to find the path, more soulful paths, to be a pathfinder that's a little bit more deep and profound. That's what I want to say. So really cool. I'm proud of you guys. This is amazing. Everything that I sort of, that came out, I think the path you're on right now is leading to all of this. So good for you guys. All right. So this is where I'm going to leave you guys. Thank you for tuning into this reading. I hope it was helpful. I definitely always appreciate and feel held and seen by you guys when you give me some love, a little thumbs up or subscribe if you haven't, and if there's something specific that was really interesting to you. I love hearing that kind of feedback in the comments. Okay, so I will see you guys in another reading. Hello, pile 3. Welcome to your reading about the flow of abundance in your life. Before we dive into actually doing some cards, there's definitely like channeled message that has come through based on the deck you chose. I feel like you guys are my body, soul, self-care gurus that really know how to move and understand signals through the body, understand signals through emotion, understand the benefit and the importance of caring for yourself in emotional and physical ways. So I feel like you probably create a lot of abundance, maybe around nurturance and health and just like a balanced kind of life. Yeah, but we'll see what the reading brings up. But I'm feeling, and like especially with this green, which could kind of relate to a heart chakra, I feel like you're just a very present energy, and so like work with abundance in a present, practical, beautiful, material way, kind of. Yeah, okay. All right, so to start off this reading, I am going to, or we're going to explore 5 questions around the flow of abundance in your life, and then to end, we'll do some tarot cards that will kind of show current trajectory, how abundance is going to kind of unfold in the next 3 months. Okay, so but to start, the very first question, I want to jump off on like a really positive note. So I want to look at, where are you already really tapped into a sense of gratitude, which is really deeply aligned to abundance in our life. When we show gratitude, the universe becomes more aware of what we do want and helps us to expand that. So it is sort of directly tied to abundance. It's like what gratitude shows, where we expand and grow things. So where are you naturally good at this? Like, what are you naturally already consciously showing gratitude around and creating a good flow of abundance on? And so like what you can like very easily build off of, because it's just like right there and already working well. It's always nice to be conscious of this so that you can continue and like not start to take it for granted. Myth, beautiful. Okay. Nourishment, that doesn't surprise me. Okay. Gratitude. Oh my gosh, you can't make that up. That's beautiful, you guys. You grow gratitude and you just have a grateful attitude. So you're very easily create abundance because you're naturally just a grateful person. Let's read this card and then we can see how they all mesh. Okay, so I allow myself to receive and marinate in the goodness that life has gifted to me. In cultivating gratitude for what presently is, I'm opening myself up to opening myself up to the more that I am desiring. All of life is worthy of celebration. I begin my Thanksgiving journey by noticing the warmth of my morning coffee and the subtle sounds that surround me. Yeah, I mean, this is totally talking about very physical, like sensual things. Like I think you're very much so in your body. And so you notice the beauty of the physical world. You notice, yeah, the warmth of a warm tea or coffee on a cold morning, a soft couch to sit on, the texture of your cat's fur that's so soft, I don't know, whatever it is, it's just like you're very in your body, and you like, it feels very sensual to me. And because that's something that you care for a lot and that you love and feel grateful to be able to have sensations and perceptions that give you feedback and understanding about the world that's so beautiful, you really know how to nourish the physical aspect of life, how to care for body, how to care for property, how to care for objects, how to mold objects, mold spaces. It's just feeling very physical to me, but like, you really know how to self-care, you know how to feel grateful, you know how to be slow and sensual. And there's something tied to all of this with like really valuing sort of the origin story of things. You like to, this to me feels like you like to create something from nothing. You like to take raw material and give it shape. You really value and appreciate and feel grateful for the way things have been shaped, the way nature has molded the mountains, or had lavas creating an island, like whatever it is. Like, I just feel like you're like that Polynesian goddess of passion, the Pele, the volcano rising from the volcano, just like so in touch with with creation. Yeah, and just like something about that just makes you feel such a deep graciousness and gratefulness for life, and you nourish life, and you give life to things, and you mold life. And that's something that really creates, I think, a material type of abundance in your life. That's what I'm feeling. Physical and material kind of abundance, feeling and flow in your life. So beautiful, you guys. Loving it. Okay. The next question I want to explore is, where are you, and this can be personal to you. I'm throwing out a few options. We'll see. The cards may direct towards one of these, or you can kind of choose your own interpretation based off of this. Of like, it could be like where you're blocked from abundance, or it could be something you've never understood about the flow of abundance. It could be something in your subconscious that got stuck around a flow of abundance. So yeah, it's either something that you're like, that got lodged in you that you're not seeing around your connection, your personal relationship to abundance, or something that you've never really discovered or understood or been able to like pinpoint. It's like never been defined or something for you. So what, yeah, kind of looking at like, what is it that needs to be brought into consciousness and sort of either uprooted or defined for you specifically, that could generate a lot of abundance in your life, or more understanding about abundance. Reawaken. Okay. Stillness. Dance. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, let's read dance first, and then we'll get into the interpretation. Okay, so dance is a form of movement that allows the body to release stored emotions and energy. When practiced intuitively, I am made aware of the quiet whispers within my body. When was the last time I danced? freely, and how did it make me feel? Today I will find a song that feels good and ignites me, and I will move without inhibition. Oh man. Try turning off the lights and explore primal movement. Yes. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so even though I have this sense that you're very tuned into life in the material, physical way, I think it's like maybe you grasp it a little too hard, like try to, I don't know if control is quite the right word that I'm seeking here, but it's like you possess, is like you have this possessive energy of like wanting to hold energy physically. And I think this is saying like you need to do some primal screams, like the power of being a little bit more animalistic lives in you deeply, and you're not tapping. I think this is saying this is actually something that is so deeply a part of you, but you're not tapping into it. Of like, it's really funny seeing stillness and dance next to each other. This thing is a little contradictory. But I think like what's coming through to me is like maybe for you to unleash a little bit more of this primal side to you instead of a refined kind of molded, elegant side, like being a little bit more raw and primal. It's like you need to get still to feel that animal aspect of you, how it wants to move. And I love that idea of like, I've actually done a program. It was so interesting where they give you kind of some exercises to go through and then a track list, and you do it in a dark room blindfolded. And the last hour of it is dancing this way. And it was so, like, I loved it. But it did take, I think, you know, like getting into that practice, it did start with like getting really still and tapping into like those impulses in your body that, and accepting the impulses to move without thinking or to move without appearing a certain way. I think this is an appearance thing. Like you need to kind of allow yourself to be seen a little bit in a little bit less refined of a molded, you know, curated life. Like you need to be a little bit raw and primal and, you know, scream from the depths of you into the night sky at the stars, just you know, like you don't have to do this in front of people, but there's something about you that needs to let outside like a little bit more of a primal aspect of you that's not as molded and refined. And it will really reawaken, give you a sense of sort of like constant renewal. It's this origin story. The origins of anything are always raw, and I think you like to take the raw things and make them beautiful, but I think you need to tap into like the raw stuff before it becomes beautiful, and like understand that aspect of yourself and always reawaken that aspect of yourself to stay connected to your own primal powers. Yeah, I don't know. I think that will make sense to you guys. Okay. Next question. The next two are very related, and in the first two readings, they were kind of saying the same thing in an opposite way, in a way. And it's sort of exploring a giving and a receiving quality around abundance. So a flow, you know, abundance has to be, it's a thing that happens in a flow, and there has to be give and take in order for it to grow. And so this is sort of, I'm framing it though around boundaries. So like, where are your boundaries to, like, where are you to giving? Where are your boundaries to open, where you're leaking something about the flow of abundance in your life, where you're just like not, or it's just like too expansive and gets away from you or something. Too giving or too expansive, whatever it is. I think that's why I want to use boundaries as a, can be a little bit more flexible about how that's interpreted by each of you, because it might be different. It could be giving too much. It could be trying to do too much, you know, whatever that is. Like, where do you need to tighten your boundaries? Where are you leaking your abundance in a way that's not creating a fluid flow in your life? So transformation. Open doors. Okay. I think I know where this is going. Let's get this card first. Sweat. Okay, so let's read this card first, and then we'll dive into a broader interpretation. Sweating is one of the most beneficial practices for all of the body's functions. In a world overridden with toxins, sweating is vital for the detoxification and overall health. What is an invigorating and enjoyable way of allowing my body to sweat? Today I will move until I sweat. Try an infrared sauna, a hot bath, or even a cycle class. Okay. Yes, I think that you put a lot of effort, blood, sweat, and tears, that's the way I'm going to interpret this, into transform, like this, such a deep desire to, because it comes from this beautiful ability you have to mold and refine and transform raw materials into beautiful objects. But this, I think, can get a little imbalanced sometimes with like trying too hard to, and it's more around the intention here. Like, I think this is great. I think your ability to mold life is beautiful. It's not, this isn't a critique on this. It's about when the intention for you around that is trying so hard to, when you're doing that with the intention of opening doors to broaden your world, to transform your life, to level up, I think you can get a little bit out of control with like needing to appear a certain way, trying to open doors to your life through the blood, sweat, and tears of your ability to transform in order to level up. And it's like, I think this is saying not that you shouldn't try to open new doors or broaden your life, but it's like you're placing the intention around needing to open the doors. I think you need to look at like, why are you trying to open these doors? And are you giving blood, sweat, and tears to something that's futile or something that you don't actually want? But appearance-wise, there's this big appearance thing here to me. Like, by appearance, this door would be desirable, but actually, do you want it? I think you need to sit with your intentions about doors you're trying to kick open in your life. I think you need to sit with them and get a little bit more real of like, the specific question is like, does this appear well for my life? Does this have an appearance of something I want in my life? Or does it feel like, get into your body? How does this door feel to me? Why am I trying to get into this door? Is it because it looks good or because it feels good? And when both of those are, they feel and look good, go. But when you're getting a weird signal from your body of like, it doesn't, it may look good in my life, this door, this transformation, something doesn't feel good though. So I think you need to like really slow down and ask those questions when your blood, sweat, and tears are just exhausting you. Yeah, okay. So the next question is like, where are your boundaries too tight? What are you constricting about a flow of abundance, like holding on to too tightly? Imagination. Yeah, okay. I think I know where this is going to, but let's see. You got transformation on both. This is hilarious. Okay. Definitely giving a lot of weight to your, you chose these embodiment cards. So like for this reading, I'm giving a lot of weight to these cards for you. Boundaries. Boundaries for where you need to loosen your boundaries. Let's see what this says. In what specific areas of my life am I lacking boundaries? This is funny because this one is about where are your boundaries too tight. What might be possible if I learn to protect my energy and honor my needs? Is there something or someone I need to say no to? In creating boundaries, I am making room for healthy and life-giving relationships. Okay, let me think about this for a second because this is very contrary. I think what I want to say, because this transformation card showed up to mirror this, this is just what's coming to me. I almost want to say that like you don't have a lot of issues around constricting and having too tight of boundaries around the flow of abundance. I think that you push too hard and waste a little bit of energy and spin some wheels around really opening to a flow of abundance. So what you trying to flip this, so like what you need to loosen your boundaries on is containing some boundaries around this. I hope that makes sense to you, but it's like you have poor boundaries or you have how am I wording this? You have that's confusing. I'm gonna say it like this. I think this reading is saying you do not need to focus on opening boundaries more. You need to focus on, this is almost a doubling of this pile of like where you need to find better boundaries. And it's I like this imagination coming out. This to me is like the key new information, because I feel like both of these piles are saying where you're lacking boundaries, and you don't have cards for where you are too constricted in your boundaries. So the one thing I would say here is like, I'm going to let you guys choose, actually, because I can see this going either way. The one thing that's different from this other question is like, do you have too tight of boundaries around your imagination? Do you find imagination too childish or something, or like whimsical and you're not letting it out enough? Or is your imagination out of control in all of this transforming blood, sweat, and tears, knocking trying to knock your way into different paths and different doors, is some of that irrational, is some of that improbable. Not that you shouldn't try for improbable things, but it's like either you need to unleash your imagination more or you need to check your imagination a little bit. And like this said, drop back into body and get responses for what feels good more than what looks good. And my guess is doors that allow you to use imagination in a certain way are going to feel good to you, even if they look a little bit whimsical for you or something like that. Hopefully there's a message there for each of you guys. There's some options. So, take that as you will, because that was a very strange, contrary message that came through. And I think it was just saying that there's two ends of a spectrum here. Some people that need to rein in imagination and some people that need to unleash it. And using that as a marker for like what feels good in terms of doors you're trying to knock down in your life and transformations you're trying to do in order to get through the doors. Okay, so the last of the oracle card section, the last question around this flow of abundance is, what kind of self-care will aid in feelings of abundance for you? So what kind of self-care can you be doing that will really help you tap into feelings of abundance and gratitude in your life? Phenomena. That makes sense to me. Okay. The messenger. Rest. Yeah, I think that you are a bit of a mover and a shaker, and I think maybe rest is key for you. Okay, let's read this and then we'll dive into the rest. Okay, rest is essential for a healthy and harmonious mind, body, and soul connection. In a world where hustle is all too often praised, I think you're a hustler. Rest is one of the most underrated tools for increased efficiency, creativity, and health. Has my current schedule been helping me or deterring me from experiencing more in my life? Today, I will take a step towards prioritizing rest and eliminate any unnecessary tasks and activities. So I really want to say this is like some self-care that you can do is like really diving more into the imaginal for you, not to share, not to be seen in a certain way or be not wanting it to be seen in a certain way. This is just for you. This is you time. This is what can fill up your cup and make you feel more vital and alive and grateful in your life, is allowing some downtime, not always be hustling, to witness the phenomena of life, of creation, of just the power that we exist, whatever it is. Like, just let yourself get caught up in wonder and awe and the esoteric side, the mystical side, and allowing yourself to channel and find messages from kind of the sacred geometries, the maybe what's a more tangible word for you guys? I feel like you guys are very tangible. Just the formation, how life forms so magically. Why does this tree have a certain shape of leaf and that tree has a different, and why do some birds not fly? Like, whatever it is that captures like your attention about just like this phenomena that's amazing and so crazy and like so powerful, and you know, as silly and simple as it may seem, finding messages through that, allowing nature and life and the unseen to communicate with you a little bit more. I think something about that will really rejuvenate you, and to kind of rest into that, and like Alice in Wonderland, just allow yourself a little bit more daydreaming and softness. And yeah, that's what I want to say there. Okay, let's look at some tarot. So we're going to do some cards, and these are meant to show, given the trajectory you are currently on, what type of flow with abundance can be expected from right now through the next 3 months. Oh, beautiful. Okay, you've got both bookending these cards. You've got both the Queen and the King. The Muse in this deck is the King, comparing to traditional. I like that it's called the Muse though. So you are, in this first card, I like that it's like your third eye is really lit up right now, and you're seeing some of the unseen. So that the self-care thing that was brought up, I think you're doing that actually really well right now, and allowing yourself to be a little bit more mystical and dreaming. There's like a new project you're about to really nurture into being that's, I've seen these pyramids and a cheetah here that's like really has some solar energy you're about to sprint with. But it's sort of, that's why you're needing to rest and dream right now. That message felt very strong for me. It's like that you're still getting channeled information into the unseen things you need to understand, and channeled messages. Yeah, the messenger card. I almost want to put these underneath because this feels so, that last question feels really important here. Messages are still coming through, and you're just like some rest and some openness and getting into some primality, that raw thing, because anytime you start a new project, it needs to come from a very raw place. You need to reawaken, like really get into your body in a very, to you, what might be considered ugly way, just like from a very primal place, and settle, and then allow things to be channeled through you, because you've woken up that primal, place that's ready. That reawaken is that readiness for a new project, for a new thing to spark in you that you can sprint towards. Something very artistic coming through as well, that will feel very emotionally, whatever this project is, it feels like it might be a bit of a collaboration, or else it's either a collaboration or it's for a broader audience, or you have a lot of support underneath you, whatever resonates to you. Yeah, and there's a lot of fire energy in what's coming through. You have a lot of courage around you. You have the willingness to step into a spotlight and kind of charge for your willingness to kind of defend your place and charge for what you want, and walk into something that's very competitive too and still shine and still claim your place in something competitive. The one warning coming through here, the Seven of Voices, I'm just going to tell you how to work with it positively and some things to avoid. This is kind of the spy card. We got our little spy fox on this, if you can see. Be aware of not invading other people's privacy in ways that they wouldn't appreciate, like snooping in on people a bit. It's one thing to do, this could relate to doing like market research, which is great. Do your market research, but you know the boundary between kind of violating someone's privacy versus or getting information in unsavory ways versus doing your due diligence and knowing your market. That's the positive way to use this, is the cleverness of the fox to really understand what you're about to get into and like really knowing your plan and the market and the audience, and that's great. Just don't do anything you wouldn't want done to you. Okay, and then Muse of Inspiration is like you already have the authority and command and managerial fires, leadership ability to really end up wherever you end at the end of 3 months, whatever this is, this flow of abundance. I really think it's connected to a project, a creative project, and you are going to come into your own as a leader that will, create a lot of creative abundance in your life. So super beautiful. I love this reading. I love how connected to sensuality you guys are, and I'm excited. I hope you wake up some more primal things in you. I think that could be really fun and exciting. So okay, so this is where I'm going to leave you. Definitely love those thumbs up. It helps my channel in its little incubation period. And subscriptions if you aren't a subscriber yet. And if something in particular really stood out to you, I always love hearing feedback in the comments. All right, I will see you guys in another reading. Hello, Pile 4. Welcome to your reading about how to tap into a flow of abundance in your life. Before we jump into cards, just channeling a little bit based off of the pile you picked and the stone. I think that you guys are my mystical pile, and your connection to a flow of abundance is really non-linear, and probably has taken, I think there's probably a spectrum of people here, like some who really don't understand how to do this well yet, and some who have really mastered their understanding of things a little bit more unseen, unconscious, esoteric, magical, mystical. Whichever end of that spectrum you are on, whether you're just starting to explore these things or you've already been through the ringer with it and really starting to get a handle on this, the more you trust your non-linearness, and trust your personal instincts and what spirit draws you to, the more, and asking spirit directly about like how, show me the signs, show me the synchronicities, bring to me the information I need, to generate more abundance, and whatever abundance you're looking for. It can come in many forms, whether you need financial, more financial abundance, more love abundance, more self-love abundance, whatever it is. I think being in direct relationship with spirit and communicating with spirit, it will show you ways. That's the sense I'm getting, but let's jump into some cards and see. Oh, I have last cards staying up here. Let's jump into the cards and see what they say. Okay, so to start the reading, the first part of the reading is we're going to explore 5 questions around the flow of abundance in your life. And then the second part of the reading, a real quick tarot draw to see, given the current trajectory you're on, what kind of abundance, flow of abundance is around you from now till the next 3 months. Okay, so the first question with the oracle cards that we are going to explore for you guys, pile 4, is where I wanted to start off on a really high note. Not that any of these are bad, like none of these are bad, but like just on a really positive note. Let's kick it off there. So where, to me, abundance has such a deep connection to gratitude. When we feel gratitude and show that we're grateful about things, that's where we tend to kind of like focus an expansive energy. And when we show spirit that we're grateful about things and are looking to expand there, usually energies come in to help us do so. Okay, so this first question is sort of like, where do you already feel just like a really deep sense of gratitude in your life? Hence where life tends to be expanding, whether this is universal for you or just current, that'll be up to you guys. You'll know which you are when we get into the pile. But it's something that you can build off of and just like bring greater awareness to, like, oh yeah, I am feeling grateful for this thing and it is expanding, and I can build on that, like by being conscious of it and continuing to cultivate this thing that comes naturally and easily, at least at this moment, if not always. Okay, Spirit, where is pile 4 already showing gratitude and generating some abundance and expansion, simplicity, beautiful. Eagle. Ooh, love it. I'm loving this already. Rhythm. Ugh, gorgeous. Okay, I have to read these embodiment messages, both for you to know, and they're new to me, so I'm also in real time getting the message. Okay, how would creating a daily rhythm offer me a sense of freedom? Can I recall a time where I've seen rhythm help something flourish? Where in my life is there a need for nourishing rhythms? Just as life has seasons, I embrace the rhythms that I am currently in need of. So this to me is showing that you've created some kind of, like, you've had a vision, you've had a deep understanding come through, or else you always have had a sort of clear vision. I think for a lot of you this might be new, actually. For some of you, maybe this has always been present, but I'm going to speak about it in current terms because that's the stronger message coming through to me, is it's like a current thing for most of you, is you've had a new vision of something that, a nourishing rhythm that is really bringing a flow of new health and wellness to you, and an elegance, and you're finding a new simplicity with life through really nurturing yourself with this rhythm, and like feel like it's feeling, I almost want to say it's feeling, because this is an embodiment card, it's feeling physically right to you, resonant to you, and there's something about that that's allowing you to settle into who you are more deeply and feel more ease in yourself, more ease to be simply who you are, and And I think it's taken a lot of refining to get to this spot. But there was some higher place, higher perspective you have tapped into recently that gave you the perspective you needed to kind of settle into simply who you are and the nurturing rhythm needed for that. But I think a lot of trial and error and refinement and effort has gone into getting to this place, gone into being able to even know where to look for this vision. Because I think simplicity is very deceiving a lot of times, and I relate it to an elegance. Simplicity and elegance to me are somewhat synonymous. So a lot of times when we see something very elegant and simple and beautiful, we don't see the work that went behind. Like, we might be like, well, that's so simple and obvious, but we don't see all the trial and error that went into refining to get to that perfect balance and elegance of self. So there's like a new balance coming in, and you've done a lot of refining, I believe. And this is something that's really growing for you and feels primed to continue to grow and to just make you feel so at ease with your simplicity of self, of your elegance that you've cultivated through a lot of hard work. Okay, so that is really gorgeous. I love that message. And just congratulations. I feel like this has taken a lot of work to get to. So good for you guys. Okay, so the next one is a little bit, I'm going to allow you to interpret what this needs to be in terms of like, it's sort of like, where are you blocked from seeing abundance in your life? Like not tapping into something that could be abundant in your life. So it could be something you've never, and this is where I'm going to allow you to decide what it is for you. Like it could be something you've never understood, that's like never really been introduced to you, or something you've never really had defined for you, or just something you've never, that's always baffled you. Or it could be something that got stuck in you, that sort of, got rooted deep inside that you forgot about or got stuck somewhere. Either way, this is something specifically for you that could create a lot of abundance in your life if you had more help to see it. And so I'm going to help you to see this right now. Potential. Oh man. You guys have no idea what you're worth, do you? Okay, it doesn't surprise me with the mystic crowd. So easy to be misunderstood, so to be reflected back to as like people totally missing your potential, and so you not really ever having your potential reflected to you in a way. So I'm going to do that now for you guys. New chapter. Well, that's beautiful. Here we go. Okay. Intuition. Yep. Okay. You, like I said, you have had so little reflection back to you about the potential and the magnificence you hold, because you're kind of a different creature. Look, I love this. I've never noticed this in this card. This horse is running on water. You're like a water horse. And what is that? No one knows, right? So no one knows how to reflect back to you the potential of that, because they don't know the potential of that. But you have potential in being something very distinctly you, very distinctly unique, very distinctly something that hasn't been defined yet. You hold potential though, and I think you all know it's going to be different for each of you. You know what that potential is. And so right now, I'm just saying, let that come into mind. Whatever's in your mind right now, you hold immense potential in, and immense access to abundance in. And a new chapter whether you're starting to understand this or me reflecting it back to you right now, is opening a new chapter for this. You're ready to chart like the horse. You're ready to charge through owning your simple ease and authenticity to just be what it is, and to move forward with power and determination into a new chapter. You're like newly, to me, this is something newly coming on. Yes, it needs to be brought to your awareness, but I think it's already like a moving train. Like it's already going. You're already becoming aware of this, and I'm just further confirming and further pushing it, giving it a little more horsepower behind it, to say, yes, go. The time is now. New chapter. You know what this thing is that you have potential in. You're initially not going to get reflected back that you have potential, because people don't understand what you're trying to do. So you just need to do it, and then they'll see, and then it will be a very abundant thing to you. And it's an intuitive, there's something just intuitive here. So it is hard to, and that's why it's hard to define. It's coming from a place that's not defined, that isn't linear. So I am connected to and honor my intuition. My intuition is my greatest ally, and my body is her temple. I am my greatest teacher. I am safe when I trust my own knowing. I trust that my body is full of wisdom, and I choose to lean into her gentle inclinations. So you're the horse in this scenario, and so you just need to trust what you feel like, body sensations. You'll know when things feel right. And that's how you're going to navigate this. And you need to just commit right now to being your own witness and reflector, because you just, until you have something to show, because this is not, whatever this is hard to explain. You need to be your own teacher, your own coach, your own motivator, your own witness. If people show up, and I think little by little, as you charge with force through into this new chapter, and little by little there's more and more to show, I think that's also going to concentrically grow with more and more witnesses and support. But you need to be your own motivator at the starting point, and little by little more and more motivators and witnesses and cheerleaders are going to start to see what you're about, what this access you have to abundance is, and what this potential and new chapter, it feels big. It feels big to me. I'm really excited for you guys. I think you really deserve this, and I think, coming here, I think you're coming into a new ease with yourself too, which is what's maybe allowing you to have the courage to do this, whatever it is to you. Okay, the next two questions are kind of like opposite sides of the same coin, and it's sort of looking a little bit of at the like giving and receiving energy that is sort of the generator beneath the flow of abundance. It is very much so connected to, flow is so much connected to giving and receiving, but I am framing it more as boundaries. Where the two questions are going to be like, where are your boundaries too loose? Where are you leaking potential with your flow of abundance? Where are you kind of leaking abundance and not containing it and getting that flow to come back to you? So like, where are you giving too much in a way? And then the second question will be, where are you too constricted? Where are your boundaries too tight? And where do you need to give more and open more in order for that flow to be more generative and expansive and exciting? Okay, so first we're going to look at pile 4. Where are their boundaries too loose or weak? That's kind of spilling energy. We're going to take them both, I guess. Why not? I haven't done that yet. Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. I know this. Yeah. Yep. Okay. All right, let's read Speak first, and then I'll get into what I've been thinking, but just make sure what I need to add with this card. There is healing that takes place when I honor my voice and authentically express myself. Wisdom is knowing not only when to be silent, but when to speak up. Is there a situation in my life I have been silent about that is now asking me to speak up? Today, I will speak and share my truth with intention and grace. Yeah, to me, what I'm feeling with this is you do have, even though it can be hard for people to reflect back to you your potential, you do have a magnetic quality, and people can't explain why they still sort of keep you around or have fascination with you, and so they probably don't reflect to you that they feel magnetic draws towards you because they don't know how to voice that. But you have a magnetic quality, and I think on some level, and you probably question it, but on some level you know this. And so it's like you're grasping to understand what this is and like testing things. And you do have this deep, insane, that's what your potential, you just have a creativity that is compulsive and channeled and really profound. And you're able to take premonitory shapes, things out of nothing, and create magic. But it's a compulsive thing, and you're giving it away because you're just looking, like, I feel like you're looking for this feedback and this witnessing to say you have so much potential at this or that, but people can't define what it is. So you need to get a little bit more and you're trying to communicate something, and I think you need to just be a little bit more trusting of your intuition. And I think you need to have more boundaries around what you put out into the world, because it's just like you're just, every time you get a download or a new current or a channel or an idea, it's like you just let it out instead of like containing and building. I think what this new chapter needs you to do is to not just give everything away for free or give everything out the minute you have a download. Like, you need to contain it, and you need to spend more time molding it and making something of this before you present it to the world. It's like you're just presenting things quite raw or something. And even though it's still magnetic and you're getting a little bit of feedback about magnetic, but not quite why, it's just enough of a hook and a bait to keep offering things and your creativity to the world, which is immense. But I think if you keep it more contained and get things more refined and developed before you put them out into the world, before you speak what this is or communicate something. And I think that holding off will give you some words to be more defined about what this is. Like, you just need to contain it a little bit longer. And that magnetic quality you have, that's your potential, is your creativity and your magnetism. If you contain these a little better, shape them, get them into a more substantial place, a more holistic place, a more formed place, a place where you'll know it when you have definite words and articulation for what this is. That is the moment to put it out into the world. And so instead of leaking out this profound creative potential and magnetism just willy-nilly, when you contain it, that magnetism builds and builds and builds. And when you get to the point where you can really, really articulate and put something fully formed out there, that magnetism is going to be so powerful. Horsepower. Yes, I love this. Okay, so where are your boundaries too constricted? Where are you not letting flow and abundance and gratitude and your potential to roam as free and wild as it needs to be? Psyche, okay. Right, okay. The healer. Yeah, okay. I think I know where this is going. Sorry. Bliss. Okay, let's read bliss first and then we'll get into this. I am in tune with what feels, sorry, I want to make sure you guys can see this. I am in tune with what feels good to me and am here to follow my bliss. My heart does not lead me astray, but leads me into deep joy and contentment. I can laugh and choose joy in the midst of life's storms. I allow joy to express itself through me freely and welcome a blissful state of being. Okay. You can see into the unseen, not just in life and creativity that we're seeing with this creative potential here, but whether it's through like guides or some spiritual channel or just like an innate gift you have, you see people's psyches before you see their surface, basically. But it's not a typical way to sort of like communicate psyche to psyche or to reflect back to people their psyches. And so you really hold that that gift you have in, because I think it disarms people and for some could probably be quite off-putting. But at the end of the day, it's a healing energy and it releases a bliss both in you to be able to do and in others to have certain things about them witnessed in a way that's very healing and gentle. And you hold this back, and I think it's just because it's like a different way of relating. So to me, this feels like a relational constriction of abundance. Like it's you get a lot of bliss from much deeper connection with people. So I think you need to find tribes that are similar to you. You need to find groups of people where you can let this out more and feel safe. Because I'm not going to tell you to open up your boundaries to just anybody with this kind of energy. It's not going to be productive for a lot of people, and it can be it just isn't safe sometimes. So my advice on being able to open up this thing that's too constricted in you is to really put effort into finding others that value this kind of stuff in order to use it. you have so much potential here that's not being used, that's not being developed, that's not being honed and made a craft. And there's a lot of bliss waiting here for you. I think it gives you such joy to be able to express your healing energies and to be able to work with psyche in general, yours and others, and collective psyche. You could even channel this into whatever creative potentials are really coming out of you. You could really channel in a more artistic way these types of things, which I think will help on some level, but I do think in many ways this is referring to a flow of abundance in your relationships and groups and tribes. So yes, find ways to express these in art, but also find people you can express this with and really generate relationships through these magically beautiful, deep things that you contain. And I don't think you even have scratched the surface of what you're capable of, because you've just constricted this so much. But tap into that horsepower coming through for this reading. Like, find your people. This new chapter may lead you to new people, but just I think really open up and ask, like, be in dialogue with the spirit about like helping you to find more of your tribe where you can allow this part of yourself safely out. Put that out as something you need help with from spirit, and I think it will come through and start to, you have to be aware too and notice this coming in. So it takes both sides, but ask for it and then be very aware of synchronicities and opportunities and people that spirit is guiding you or into your life, or you towards, whatever it is. Okay, the last of these oracle card questions we're going to do is, what kind of self-care will aid in feelings of abundance for you? So how can pile 4 care for themselves, fill their cup in a way that helps them tap into a sense of abundance in them and in life? Threshold, beautiful. Yeah, a new thing. I mean, I know that's not what this question is about, but this is confirming like a huge new chapter is coming in for you guys. Me time. Okay, I know what this is saying though. Okay, hold on. Clarity, yeah, oh, absolutely. Confirms what I already thought. Okay, but let's read this first. I release my past mistakes and future worries so I can find clarity in the now. My inner vision is clear and is sustained by the healthy boundaries I create. I understand that knowledge is not synonymous with clarity, but clarity is always accompanied by peace. I take time to sit with clouded thoughts and decipher what needs to be filtered. Okay, so yes, I think because you're more intuitive, because you don't function in a linear way, I think you often suffer from feelings of confusion. But confusion is something to be leaned into, and there's nothing you can do to push it, make it go away faster, other than to sit still with it and to protect your boundaries, like just being in a space that only has your energy, sitting with it, allowing the confusion. It naturally rises out of you and clarity appears. And I think this new threshold, this new chapter that's coming, is very unclear right now. I think you can sense it because you're so intuitive. You can sense it's coming. You can sense this rhythmic shift and vision that's already manifesting that's leading to this new chapter, and you can sense the new chapter and the threshold coming, but it's not clear. And that's fine. I think this is part of your process, and I think you just need to spend a little more time than usual alone and still, and not ingesting a whole bunch of information, not expending a ton of energy, just spring cleaning, toss out the old, make room for the new. That can help clear up some things, but also just letting the swirling void of potential that's unformed, like this unfathomable card over here, pulling out a premonition out of nothingness. Like, that's what you're in the process of doing. So of course it's not super clear, and it just needs time, it needs space, and it needs a good spring, things need a good spring clean. What projects can you take off your plate that are no longer feeling abundant to you? What clutter is in your house that just no longer is resonating with you? Like, you're coming into a new chapter and you're resonating differently. So old projects are shedding, potentially some old friendships or relationships are shedding, possessions might be shedding. Like, it's just time to allow whatever naturally, it's not like you have to force things to go, but what's organically, naturally just kind of falling away, let it do so, because it's bringing it more and more clarity will come in with the things that are trying to leave being able to leave. And you're so primed. I'm excited to see what the tarot cards say, but I feel like by or before the 3 months, you're going to be very clear and very much so stepped into this new chapter and this new threshold. I think it's going to happen faster than you think. So you really, really need to take this seriously about just allowing things to shed. Whatever's shedding, just allow it to shed. You don't need to force anything out, but if it's shedding already, just let it shed, and get a little bit more still, more alone time, and just, let things settle. And the new view is just right here, and it's something about this is very connected to a flow of abundance for you, a new chapter of abundance, because maybe it's not been great in the last chapter. Yeah, 4 of materials. Okay. I think you are holding on to certain things though right now. Okay. Like what I just said, I think is very important. I think maybe you're feeling that shedding and you're kind of holding on. Aha. Okay. 2 more cards. Beautiful. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yes to all of this. So currently what I'm feeling is you really need to take to heart what I've just said about letting things shed. I think, like I just said, things, you can feel them already shedding and you're kind of grasping to hold on, and you really need to dig into some allowing things to go that are already going, and doing a little bit of a cleanse of your spaces. So that's where you are right now, but I think very soon you're really shifting. Some receptivity around receiving abundance is coming in. So as soon as you really get into a flow of letting go, immediately a new flow of offering of support, financial support specifically, material, financial, different supports are starting to abundantly flow to you, which is giving you a new energy, a new kind of awakening and power. This is like the horse energy to me, is like starting to come through, and then a belief that the new cycle is here. And I think midway, like month and a half midway through this 3-month span that we're talking about here. So from whenever you watch this to a month and a half in, you're going to be on this new path. The magician has already stepped onto the path, and you're seeing that you have the resources have arrived that you need. The connections, the resources, whatever it is you need to manifest what this potential is that you know, it's all at your disposal, and you just have to be active with it and move it and use it, you know. And then beautiful cards to end here is like you're really, really aligning in just the most bright, joyous, positive way with this new path. Like, yeah, this is feelings of alignment. This is feelings of being newly, freshly on a very generative, positive, abundant path, and just this moment of like of feeling seen, even if by yourself. It's just like you are on an aligned path like maybe you've never been, and you're stepping into this as a general. You're gonna know whatever happens, whatever you're doing with this magician and manifesting and feeling so aligned with your path. It's like you have this innate wisdom and understanding and knowledge that just kicks in suddenly, and you understand a certain chain reaction and a certain place in command and working with others, working within an industry. Like this feels very work related to me, like not just a creative project, but like a career or something. It's like all of a sudden you know how to step into this new potential and this new place as a professional who knows their place and is sort of a general of sorts, and knows how to direct what they're supposed to direct, knows how to advise where they're supposed to advise, knows how to take orders where they take orders, but like you know how to keep things flowing to be abundant for everyone involved. This isn't just about abundance for yourself. This is about abundance for all involved in whatever this is. So by 3 months, like you are really stepping into some power. I feel like it's going to happen so fast, and the first month and a half are going to feel like, like what? I can feel something coming, but it's hard to believe. And then the next month and a half are going to be like, I mean, so crazy quick and so magical, and like all of a sudden in 3 months you're going to be standing in such a different situation than you're in right now. I'm so excited for you guys. This is really, really electrifying. Like serious. I mean, like the first part is almost like dissolving and misty, and then the second half is like electrifying and bananas. I don't know what other word to use but bananas. So there you go. All right, this is where I'm going to leave you, pile 4. I hope this was helpful to you guys, because I love your energy and I really want you to feel your potential and use it and create and attract and provide and be provided and everything with it. So yeah, I always appreciate a thumbs up if this resonated, and if you haven't subscribed, please do so to get more readings from me. And if anything super resonated or there was a point that was fascinating to you, I always love hearing in the comments. It's always fun to see how it connects to people, because otherwise you just have no idea. All right, so this is where I'm going to leave you, and hopefully I will see you in another reading. See you guys.